Alrighty, hello and welcome to the Diamond Line Sports Network. I am your host, Mugen the Diamond Line, here for episode 2. We are going to revisit all the fights that we were predicting. We did pretty well. We did really well, actually. We did very well. I would say, full disclosure, I was only completely correct about one fight. And that's the fight we're actually going to start on today. Smooth segue. Y'all see it. That's the fight we're going to start on today. Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. And what do we talk about, y'all? What do we say? We said that this is probably going to be a unanimous decision victory, but it's probably going to look easier. Kambosos is probably going to get messed up a little bit more. And he did. His face, after a while, became a complete mess. Devin's jab, as usual, was on point. He did come into the fight, the weigh-ins, looking very scary, you know what I'm saying? But he rehydrated well. He looked big. He looked strong. He looked very physical. Probably as physical as I've ever seen Devin Haney look. And he came in there, he really did this thing and showed his talent and showed his greatness. Kambosos was fighting weird. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't know what the game plan was. It was very herky-jerky, and I know he's usually kind of herky-jerky. Don't get me misconstrued, but switching stances, and somebody, y'all let me know, educate me, but I've never seen somebody switch stances so many times during one round and not land a single punch. It was actually kind of odd to me. Like, it just came off. It was a very erratic fight style that was very susceptible to the jab and essentially anything else that Devin wanted to throw. A little more body work, that might have been nice, but I think Devin was just having fun out there and just doing what he wanted to do and hitting them where he wanted to hit them. Unanimous decision victory for him. I know he's talked about defending 135 multiple times, but that weight cut is starting to look a little suspect, so I would like to see him move to 140, but we'll see what happens. Devin remains great. George got fucked up more. Humble in defeat. To be honest, he was pretty humble in defeat last time. He was a little too humble for me, honestly, and that was kind of my whole problem with his demeanor coming into this fight, and as we can see, I was correct about that. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Not much to talk about there. Undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Shout out to Devin Haney, Bill Haney, the whole team over there, the whole squad, the whole gang. The second fight I want to talk about very quickly in terms of the ones that we were already reviewing before. I want to talk about Baumgartner versus Meyer. What a great fight. Better than I even thought it was going to be. And I felt it was going to be fireworks because of all the tension between the two champions. But what a excellent fight. Now, I'll say this, though, about that decision, right? I felt if you really wanted to be that guy and be that judge, you could have given it to Meyer if you wanted to. But I feel like there's a such thing as losing the impactful moments. Right, and I want y'all to let me know what y'all feel about that in the comments section too. Like, certain moments in the fight, certain rounds, championship rounds, the end of rounds, it just felt like Alycia was getting off a little bit more. It felt like Alycia was kind of putting her punches together a little bit quicker, even though technically you might be able to like swing a round or two for Michaela, who was getting through with the right hand. I was very shocked that Alycia's legs really didn't stumble all fight because Michaela was getting through with the right hand. Alycia's hands were very low. She did not show great defense, in my opinion. She did not show the defense that she's going to need moving forward to hold on to those belts. But I just don't feel like Michaela stepped on the gas in the pressing, important moments of the fight to really sway the judges the other way. And we might not like it, but perception is a lot of what people are gonna get into when it comes to judging. They're gonna go off of what they see and just how things are trending. And I felt like Michaela should have maybe started a little earlier, or just put her foot on the gas more for some of the important moments in that fight. Shout out to Alycia though, got the win, showed great. The main thing I want to talk about with that fight when Alycia started losing, because I don't know, for those of you that watched, I was actually able to watch every single fight live except for the Wilder fight, which, I mean, that wouldn't have lasted too long anyway, right? So, we'll get to that later. I digress. But there was a point in the Baumgartner versus Meyer fight where Michaela did start to step it up. It was about round 3, and Michaela might have ran off 2 or 3 straight beautiful rounds, champion rounds. And we saw Alycia step it up to a new level. And like, you heard her coach say, I need more, and he started demanding more out of her, and Alycia responded to that and really, really adjusted and came out with a new game plan, started connecting even more on Michaela, wound up opening up a cut, I think above Michaela's left eye, if I recall. It really did what she needed to do to win that fight and put rounds in the bag. She wasn't going to knock her out like she was predicted that she was, and I didn't feel too strongly about that. But she, for all intents and purposes, won the fight. She's already said that she's not going to really get into a rematch, and that's something that she doesn't really want to do. Some people might feel some type of way about that, because that was a big fight on the biggest female card ever. You might want to reward her, but she wants to chase after undisputed. She wants more belts. So I can only, as a boxing fan, I can only respect that, because there's not enough of that in the sport in terms of people actively seeking out these belts and actually wanting to fight each other to get them. So shout out Alycia, but shout out Michaela too for fighting well, in my opinion. And maybe on some people's scorecards, even winning the fight. But in my opinion, just didn't put enough of her impact, not enough impactful moments to really sway or garner a more steadfast decision there. And that's how I feel about that one. But next, we're going to move on to a fight that was incredibly entertaining for me to watch. Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. That was a great fight. And by the way, all the entrances, if you got to watch it live, the entrances for all these fighters I'm talking about were spectacular. Like, spectacular. The choreograph, the choreography, the lights, camera. I mean, everybody went off. It was beautiful to see. But yeah, no, the fight for Claressa versus Savannah, I actually want to get into something that kind of bothered me. The commentary for this entire card, for any of you that like got it live, and let me know if y'all agree, it felt off. It felt very off. I really didn't like it. It felt very uneducated at times and very ignorant. I personally was not a fan of some of Tim Bradley's commentary, all due respect. I just found him kind of distasteful, especially saying that Michaela and Alycia should have had a more entertaining fight. What are you talking about? I'm completely entertained, but Claressa in this fight displayed a beautiful defense that I did not know that she had. This is my first time watching a full Claressa fight. Her Philly shell was, I won't say impeccable, because she got caught. You're going to get caught a couple times, but it was pretty damn close to perfect. That might be like an 8.8 or 9.0 out of 10. Like, whenever Savannah would get Claressa backed up against the ropes or in the corner, Claressa would just display this beautiful Philly shell, and had Savannah really missing all night and getting gassed to the point to where I was concerned that Savannah was going to get knocked down at any moment, because her legs and balance and body language looked so off. Thinking back on it, Savannah's a little awkward, so maybe some of that played into how bad she looked in those moments, but she was definitely getting beat down pretty bad by the superior champion. And a lot of things I noticed. Claressa's hand speed is insane, and she's incredibly, incredibly tough. And in this 2-minute format that they have on the women, for whatever reason, I think it only makes Claressa harder to beat. I think she would still be the woman on top if it was 3-minute rounds, but I think the fact you're making it 2, it's making it that much harder for people to even try to draw up a game plan to realistically challenge her. But shout out to Claressa. Savannah looked huge on the night. She looked very long and very strong. Who knows? She might have been in there at 185 for all we know in terms of the rehydration. but Claressa handled her business. I think she displayed defense that she did not get credit for because people are just idiots. But she really had Savannah just off kilter, off balance, not confident. And like we talked about in episode 1, y'all, I wondered when Claressa gets off with the first combo, how's Savannah going to react? And Savannah shelled up immediately. And that's kind of what I was afraid was going to happen. Claressa won. Unanimous decision. Did not get the finish. Savannah's very, very tough. But a great fight. Both of them showed great sportsmanship after the fight. That was good to see. We could definitely see a rematch of that because Savannah is dangerous and honestly fought a pretty bad fight. Pretty terrible game plan. In my opinion. But it was still a good fight. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Claressa, though. Only fighter in the history of the Milky Way to become undisputed champion at 3 different weight divisions. You know, we gotta respect that. We have to. That's one of the great athletic feats. And if you don't realize that, then that says more about you than Claressa. But moving on to our final fight that I'm going to personally cover. There were a lot of good fights. The undercards for all these fights were amazing too. Y'all keep that in mind when you're buying a pay-per-view. Look at the undercard, you know what I mean? The undercard can really get popping. But the last fight I want to cover is the Wilder fight. Oh my God, y'all. We said that it was going to take 6 rounds. I said that I don't think that Helenius is going to get Staverned, and I was right. He didn't get Staverned. It was much worse. It was far worse. It was chaos and pandemonium. The man's hand moved so fast. I didn't know what Helenius got hit with. If you ain't know any better, you would just think a sniper was in the building and shot Helenius in the middle of the damn fight. Like, that's how his body dropped. Like, that's how quickly this happened off of the back foot for Wilder. And I'm going to say that one more time. Like, off of the back foot for Deontay Wilder. Impressive. Allowed himself to get pushed into the corner. Looked kind of sloppy. I think that was by design. Helenius got confident and moved forward and lights out. Just like that. And he's back down at his natural weight. Around between, 210 and 220. He's back down there. And he looks very sleek. He looks very explosive. I don't think any heavyweight in the game right now can stand up to that version of him. Like that version of him, I don't think any heavyweight can do it. If he comes in with his mind clear, ready to set traps, I don't think no one has the head movement to get away from the right. You know what I mean? Whether you can survive it, we can talk about that. You know what I mean? We could talk about those people, whether you can get back up, but no one has the head movement to avoid having to deal with the trauma that his hand can and will cause. And Helenius got sparked. It was bad, eyes wide open. A very loud punch, and I've seen Deontay do that before. A very loud punch that it seems like you could hear throughout the stadium. Kind of concerning, honestly, when you first see the highlights. It really seriously shocking stuff. At the time that I'm filming this, I think that it's already at like 2 million views on YouTube or something ridiculous. Already broke the internet with it. But this is what we talked about. Wilder setting traps, Wilder exploding through traps, and touching people with that legendary pound for pound historically power that he possesses. You know what I mean? The greatest weapon in the sport game, in the whatever you want to call this, in that today. I look forward to seeing what happens between him and Usyk if they decide to fight. If Usyk decides to kind of remain ghost, I look forward to seeing what happens between him and Andy potentially. I don't care who Wilder fights right now. I just want to see it. I find him to be the most entertaining out of all the boxers in the sport today because of that one-shot power. And I think he still, even now, has displayed that he still has a shot against anyone because of that power. You cannot write him off of any of the belts. You just can't do it. You really can't. You really can't. I was highly impressed. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds for the heavyweight division. I like Joe Joyce. Okay. I like Wilder. I like Jared. There's a lot of young guys. I like Andy. I like Usyk. You know, I'm very excited to see the future progress so we could see these guys mix it up. But for me, that wraps up probably the best month in boxing I've gotten to personally cover. This was extremely exciting. The women, the men, champions, Olympians, all fighting each other. I mean, what a night. What a night. What a night. Crazy night. And I can't say that I'm not happy with the results. I definitely am. All of our predictions were correct. So make sure you guys swing back to the channel. We'll be on here again probably tomorrow covering something else. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps. It helps the channel. It helps the algorithm. Everybody leave your thoughts in the comment section. Leave your hate at home. Keep it cool. Keep it chill. You know, don't take it personal. And I'm going to see y'all next time, man. Peace out.